What tales have you heard in your area? Old ghost stories, inhuman creatures, monsters of the lakes. Tonight we will delve into some of Utah's most cryptic tales. Join us as we unveil the mysteries of Utah.
All right, so it's pretty amazing all of the things that we don't know about our own home. Like we don't know what's going on in our own local areas, in our own backyards. There are so many details and mysteries and anomalies within our home state of Utah that we found during our research for this episode. And I think that it's awesome, very, very interesting to see or to find these things that are just, right there. We've lived here our whole lives and we haven't heard of a lot of these things. A lot of we have heard of, but so today we're gonna go ahead, look at some mysterious things right here in good old Utah.
Okay, so this is one of the very, very many, very well-known legends of Utah is we have a bunch of crackheads. Anyways.
Fair. You were not wrong.
Yeah. So stuff like cryptids and paranormal, I've always had like an obsession with. It's just like growing up as being like a fantasy dork and all that. I've always really had a lot of like love for this kind of stuff. And then like Ragin was saying, or Cajun, whichever one likes to be called. Saying there's actually a lot of stuff out there that I actually didn't know about. Like, I didn't know that we have, like, freaking supposedly 3 lake monsters in the state. I didn't know the goat.
Well, you're talking 3-legged monster right here. But,
whoa, Cajun, whoa.
When you bring up the lake monsters, they just summoned a bunch of storms to cover themselves back up when the drought was coming because they about got saw there, huh?
Got them.
So there's 2 things in Bear Lake that make the women run away screaming.
You said lake monsters.
No, anyways, so I had a lot of fun looking into this. A lot of this stuff, like, I'm very skeptical on some of it because I couldn't find a lot of info. So it's either not well known or it's just not very well documented or something. Anyways, so one of the first things I want to talk about. So I found 4 smaller things I thought were very interesting. Fortunately, I couldn't find a lot of information. A lot of them I wouldn't be surprised if they're fake. One of them I'm going to talk about right now is kind of been debunked. First one, I was just looking through this one little article. It was like top 5 like most bizarre creature sightings in Utah, and apparently in Provo, there's a train yard area east of the University Avenue and somewhere around 600 south. There's a train yard said to be full of werewolves. And according to the article
Team
writer, oh yeah, dude, he just walked down. They have a Taylor Lautner, right?
Oh God.
Anyways, so he heard stories about starting in 2009, and I think he said around like from 2011 to 2014, he heard some more. They're supposed to they're supposed to be hanging around this train yard area. They're supposed to be harmless unless you go in there and like screw around. Personally, a large chunk of me thinks it's just furries and some meth head.
That's exactly what I was going to say.
It has to be. They're not ripping people to shreds. They live off of rocks. They're a special kind of werewolf there.
There's a special kind of howl in there too.
Ooh.
That's a mating howl. That's a mating howl, probably.
Yes, sir.
But yeah, no. I looked around for it. I couldn't really find anything that really proved this. So it could just be a lot of bullcrap. It could even be like, I know there was like that genetic disorder or something where like you're born and it causes you to grow like abnormally large amounts of hair.
Dude, there's just a dude who's all hairy living in a train yard. Oh my! He probably got like kicked off the train there. He was like, "Hey, ma'am, no animals, no pets on the train." And then he threw him out the train, and he's just been living there.
That's my husband.
Where'd you guys drop him off at? No, that.
We kind of just threw him off. But yeah, no, I couldn't really find anything to really prove this. Another one was in a back alleyway at 369 West Center Street in Provo. There was this back alley rumored to be there's sightings of a 7-foot tall Slender Man-like creature. The writer claimed to have collected 6 encounters with it. Of course, he didn't list any of them, which I also thought was kind of odd. Unless there's another article I couldn't find that just separately that focused on this. He wears a suit and a funny hat. He didn't bother to describe the hat, which kind of makes me think, like, what is the funny hat? Is it like the SpongeBob episode where he got like the 2 cans?
Why? Oh, wait. Go ahead.
Dude, it sounds like it just sounds like a basketball player who likes listening to jazz music.
Yeah. Is it the SpongeBob episode where they get attacked by the sea bear? And
no, I'm talking about the one where he gets that hat, like, and it's got like the 2. It's like those hats where you can have like the 2 cans to it.
Mr. Krabs, he was number 1. Yeah, that one. Yeah.
And it's supposed to be like if you walk down there at a certain time, it'll pop up and just kind of pop up randomly and like look at you from around the alleyway. That could just be someone messing around. That could be an actual thing. I'm not sure.
At first, little sus piece of evidence is where was it located? 369?
369 West Center Street in Provo, and in a back alleyway is what the article said.
Provo's got a lot of things going on right now.
Back alleyways. Put it together.
Oh.
Yeah.
What's that?
Just, put it together. 369, back alleyways. Just, put it together. All right.
Anal?
Conspiracy. All right.
Was it a dark alley?
Okay, no. Oh no. Then here's the part that cracks me up. There have been sightings of 3-foot tall naked gnomes seen in the same alleyway, which I'm 99% sure is just.
Dude, it's just 3 gnomes in a suit. It's just the 3 gnomes in a suit. They're not even wearing clothes under the trench coat or nothing. They just maybe it's just like they're trying to go out and impress a lady or something like that. Maybe got to go stand in the garden in the morning.
See, I'm just convinced that's just some like special needs person or something just hopped up on drugs.
Oh God,
that's what I'm kind of, or just some midget tweaker running around.
I've seen 6 human beings that look like Slender Men in downtown Salt Lake City. So that very well could be just a homeless person or a tweaked out person.
Yeah. And this other one,
baby, they do a little more than just salt up there in Salt Lake sometimes.
Yeah, salts.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so this other one, it's just called Holiday Howlers, and it was like sometime after Christmas Day back in 2013, this couple was walking. I think it was from like the north part of the Grandview Park in Provo. And it's like 1 a.m, and they start hearing these odd howling sounds coming from near the trees. And they see like these 2 purple humanoid creatures. They were distorted and they kept changing size. Like they were going from 3 feet to 8 feet tall. And they were like, their arms were waving around. And they kept stretching out in various lengths. And they were just sitting there like howling at the couple. I legitimately don't know what the crap this is.
All right. Sam. Remember the girl that used to howl? That is her now.
It's her parents.
Yeah, it's her parents.
Oh, and they
just howling out the bus window.
Oh, that was. We should never have given the furries rights. I'm just saying.
Oh, no.
And then this last.
Yeah.
No, that's. We're going.
Why do they gotta be purple though? Dang, dude,
know.
looking like Barney the dinosaur lost some weight.
Ooh.
He starts howling at people, dude. Nobody watches me anymore. Please. I need you. Yeah, bro. I don't know. So far, some of these are sounding a little sus, a little suspicious.
Okay. Then I got this last one, which I after I looked into it, like 3 seconds into, I found an article that kind of debunked it. So in Salt Lake, somewhere near, I think it's near the entrance to Emigration Canyon, there's this old abandoned cellar that's believed to have been used by Bundy when he lived here, and that's where he took all his victims and killed them. An article I read said that that's very, it's basically not false, incorrect, whatever. Since he was too, how did the article word it? It's like he was too impulsive. Like he would hit his victim over the head, take him to the nearest secluded spot, rape him, and murder him. I think is
no, yeah. He did. It was upstate somewhere. I just can't remember exactly. But it was like it was kind of like up in the mountains area. He took a girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
he almost got caught by some hikers. It's pretty crazy. And he even mentioned that after he got caught or something too. It's like, yeah, I almost got caught in Utah.
Imagine being the hikers watching that like on like a live TV or something.
Oh, but hey, they're just from here.
Hey, we were just hiking up there. Hey, we saw that guy. What?
Ooh.
But yeah, they I guess like a lot of like experts or whatever, however you want to put it, that actually kind of studied Ted Bundy and all that, kind of got him figured down to a T. A lot of them actually said that it's very unlikely that Ted Bundy used that as a spot to murder people. As he's like, he never mentioned it, but at the same time, that doesn't mean just because he never mentioned it, doesn't mean that he never used it. Like there's a chance he could have. Supposedly, there's supposed to be some paranormal activity there. I'm not 100% sure. I couldn't really find a lot of info on it, but yeah, that's that. It's kind of like a false claim according to some professionals.
I'm not surprised that some people would use stuff like this, especially when you bring like a serial killer as infamous as Ted Bundy. Yeah, maybe they were just trying to get some clout or some money or something.
Probably,
or just build hype. Yeah.
Or just trying to scare some of the other people. Oh, and oddly enough, I tried looking. I actually couldn't find because it was like very popular back when we were in high school. I actually couldn't find a lot of info on Devil's Playhouse. Just all like I saw some posts on some websites of people that have been there and just some of their experiences. But I found some history on the area. I think there was a cave-in or something. But yeah.
So okay. So Devil's Playhouse, I believe I've been to it. I went there a while back, like a couple of years ago, and it's like this old mine.
Yeah, it's like my sister's been there too. It's like an old mining mill or something like that.
Yeah, and it's located right next to a tunnel.
Secret tunnel.
Yeah, I mean it's a mine shaft, but it's like the number 3 tunnel or whatever. I don't know what it is, but I didn't really experience anything. Albeit I went during the day, and it was just filled with graffiti.
Right.
Pretty interesting place, but I didn't have any paranormal experiences.
Yeah, I remember sophomore year of high school, a couple of, I think they were either juniors or seniors, told me a couple stories while we were doing stuff in wood class. I remember he said, like, I think one guy went up with a group of people. He said in one of the buildings there was a chainsaw or something, and when they were on their way back, that chainsaw was gone.
Wow.
And one of them was looking into one of the buildings and swore, I guess there's like a big pit somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Or he said, like, he's either in the pit or somewhere in one of the buildings. He thought he saw a dismembered arm from the elbow up. But this was at the nighttime, so it could have just been like a tree branch or something. And my sister went there during the night with some friends. She was in high school. And I think she didn't experience much, but she said that there were one of the buildings you could hear somebody throwing rocks, and they were the only people up there. So there's that. And what else was there? And then, according to her, if you go up, there's supposedly a lot of like devil worshiper activity if you go up around on Halloween night. That's probably just some pagan cringe larpers, like
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. They probably think they're all edgy, and then like
Okay, so
they're like sacrificing a chicken breast they got from Smith's or something. It's like, oh my god! Oh, you cut the fat! You cut the fat off! You weren't supposed to start with that! The ritual! He's not coming!
what? Okay, so I go ahead.
I just imagine like these guys in like robes, all like it's all serious chat, and they pull up one of those like giant frozen turkeys you can buy at Walmart during Thanksgiving, still wrapped up in the bag and everything. It's like and they just eat it down the pit as a sacrifice. we couldn't get a real turkey. We couldn't get a live turkey this year. We're short on budget. The sacrificial dagger took up the majority of our budget this fiscal period.
They grab the dagger and they're trying to like cut off the turkey's legs, and they're like, first your legs, and then it's not even like cutting through it. Shit. And then they just throw it in the pit, and they're like, he likes whole turkeys. I don't know.
No, So I heard that, and I heard that like there was. Now I heard from multiple sources. One was from like my ex-girlfriend's family, and another one was from this guy at school, from high school, and another one was my grandparents. That they had like ultra freaking KKK white supremacist guys going up there and doing shady shit. Like they'd go up there and have like little meetings and stuff, and burn crosses. And
that wouldn't surprise me.
And what they did was they would hang like white pieces of cloth. So my first time ever going up there, we seen this white, me and my grandma, me and my grandparents and my sister, we all went up there and we saw a white piece of cloth hanging from a tree, which was, needless to say, like out of the ordinary. How does it do that? But there's no buildings around there or whatever. There's nothing. It's weird. Anyway, so we go through there, see that tree or whatever, and my grandma says that, like white supremacists used to or still did at the time, used to meet up there and have little like bonfires and cross burnings and stuff. And that's where they would go to practice their little fucking things. I don't know. But yeah, that's
I bet the most hardcore people in the KKK probably like take once a week, maybe jump in the bath with a little bit of bleach.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
They're like, I'm the whitest. Like like that's how they pick a leader or something. Who's ever got the whitest skin? It's just they're like, oh, look at this guy, and they just pick up a dude who's got like cancer. They're like, yes, he's our leader. Like, oh, he's bald. Look at that skin tone. Gosh, dude, them guys are something else.
Wasn't the last like official witching? I think is either in the state or in the entire United States. Wasn't that tree where they held the last like lynch mob? Wasn't that right there on Elford Parkway or something?
Actually, it was between Christ and Wellington. I did a little bit of research before, so like it was weird because even before we came up with this episode, I did a little bit of research into that because I had remembered some guy telling me about it during football practice. And it's true that it was they call it the last lynching of the west, So in western United States, it was the last lynching, supposedly. And what had happened is like, this guy got accused of killing, one of the, mine guards or mine security guards or whatever, or a sheriff. I can't remember quite what it was, but the cop ended up finding him, and a mob got together and overpowered the cops on his way over to the prison, and they took a car with him in it, and they drove him out past Price and towards Wellington, and they hung him from a cottonwood tree. And there's actually a picture of his hanging online. Like if you go look it up, last hanging of the West, or last hanging in Price, Utah, or whatever. Like you can see the hanging.
See?
Oh, dang.
And these guys never thought it would amount to anything, and now anybody can just learn this. Like they really thought like pictures were forever, but they didn't really think that no, they're forever.
Well, okay, so this is a creepy part, but I hope this person. I'm pretty sure this person's dead by now because they were like 80 years old in the 90s. So the descendant of the person that the black dude supposedly killed said that she didn't want to take part in the reconciliation ceremony. And she said that a lot of other people around town felt the same way. But suspiciously, she wouldn't give her reason for being so upset and not wanting to go to the reconciliation ceremony. Because they had this big, ceremony in the 90s saying, oh, this is bad. Like, we're here to, reconcile. We're here because there wasn't enough evidence. A bunch of people got together, got angry, and, hung the poor guy. So, and there was never any real evidence to support it. I did see that there's one little article where these two people made, about the whole story, about apparently two kids seeing him leaving, or two kids seeing the whole thing and, telling or whatever. I don't know. But that's the only piece of quote unquote. There weren't any sources of evidence. That's just the story that they made up. That's the story they put together with the pieces that they got out of it. So, it's pretty interesting, but not a lot of evidence and stuff.
Whoa, dude. That's crazy. I didn't even know this had happened.
Yeah. So, and I was so intrigued by it that I wanted to freaking find the tree that this guy hung from, which is probably either dead or,
I think
whatever. But
they told me, I think it was chopped down very recently, a few years ago.
Yeah.
So I think.
Why? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, what's some stuff you guys found for like paranormal Utah stuff?
Well, I don't really have anything paranormal, but I do have just a couple little things that I thought interesting that I found. One, the most recent one being the monolith. Did we forget about the freaking monolith that showed up in 2020 just out of nowhere? I guess a public safety helicopter found it.
Oh yeah, wasn't it in Moab or something?
Yeah, well.
Oh yeah, that
down there somewhere.
And then it just disappeared. But what I learned during my research was that the same day it disappeared, another object was found all the way in Romania. But then the same day that object disappeared, another one appeared in California. That's weird, but interesting. So I don't know. I thought, with everything that's gone on, I can see how we kind of forgot about that. But
yeah,
I think that is so weird that you find just a metal object sitting in between, in like a canyon, and then all of a sudden it just up and bounces, just up and disappears.
I think they're just trying to pull off a Space Odyssey reference.
Yeah, or something like that.
2000 Stanley Kubrick, paying homage to the great Stanley Kubrick.
Stanley Kubrick is a great one, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to know what it weighed and everything.
Like, did they ever get like people up there personal looking at it, or was it all just from that one little?
Well, no, I'm sure. Well, they did. I mean, they had people going up and taking pictures with it. People going.
This was during the pandemic, huh?
November 18th, 2020 was when it was found.
Dude, I bet you some girl went up there to shoot her OnlyFans vids. Gosh, dude. I bet, dude. She's like,
watch me sit on this thing, okay?
Money's money, baby.
Yeah. If I got paid enough, I'd go sit on it. So let's just make that clear. $20, $50.
Sheesh, this economy.
It's sitting in her basement as a stripper pole right now, probably.
Yeah.
She got it chiseled down to a stripper pole.
It's like Land of the Lost, where great.
I don't know how much you guys know about Skinwalker Ranch.
I think the current owner of it was in the same graduating class as my uncle.
Wow.
And I think one of his brothers was in the same grade as my mom.
The owner of it is kind of a weird guy, and they did that whole little documentary thing.
Yeah, they've done a couple things up, like documentaries and things up there.
And if you try to go on it, security will like run up on you and be like, "No, don't come through here."
Then
you guys working on secret aircraft here too?
Yeah.
Like, why are you guarding it?
Let me see.
I'm just here for the Skinwalker Ussie boys. Just tell them that. They throw you off. They just empty a full. He just pulls out his handgun, and empties the whole clip into your chest. Worth it. Yeah, so,
he's got skin and he's walking. Well, he was walking. Chalk this one up, boys. Put it down as a dub. Yeah.
We did it.
Now, so originally it got, like before it was really called Skinwalker Ranch, it just kind of got dubbed as UFO Ranch.
Yeah.
So I guess like a lot of the incidents date back to the 70s and then up until now still. But basically the owner said they saw like 100+ incidents of like vanishing cows getting mutilated, flying objects, orbs, and then like the animals would have like red glowing eyes or something crazy. I don't know. Yeah. And then here's where it gets insane, dude. Maybe this is why they got the guards up there. But the cattle were unscathed when they were shot. Like it didn't do anything to them when they were getting shot at or something. Like
dude, let's take 50 cal and put that to the test. Let's take a 50 sniper rifle and put it to the test.
Reenact the one scene from The Predator where they shoot up the whole forest trying to kill it.
Yep.
It just bounces off.
Yeah.
All right then. I don't know how long it takes, boys, but you get me that beef. It has to be good. It has to be good. You find some way. That's where our defense budget's going. They found these cows and they're putting money towards some new butchering devices so they can actually get that, because maybe these cattle, if they eat them, just make the older white men live forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
do
don't
know
know.
that there was reports of this guy saw like this giant wolf-like creature on the property, shot at it, hit it. Apparently, that bulls didn't do jack to it. I did remember seeing something like it was be like if you try to dig on the property, you get like immense headaches. And they found out that there's like a massive like radioactive deposit or something underneath the ranch, and that explains some of the stuff.
Oh yeah, we've just been burying nuclear waste there.
Yeah. Hey,
Nice.
so you know, on Minecraft, when you go to a section of the world, you just like completely mess with it. You just completely do like weird experiments and everything. Blow shit
That's
up.
what we did.
Yeah, you always do them at the village. You always set them on fire.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Skinwalker Ranch for aliens. That's what it is. Or Minecraft for aliens at Skinwalker Ranch.
Yeah, and then like even so after the original owners had seen a bunch of this stuff, this Robert Bigelow bought it, I guess, and then he was trying to see like the merit of the stories and everything like that. So I wonder which like if it was the original owners, if they had armed guards too, or if it's just this new guy. Like I don't know.
Yeah, we'll have to. I don't know.
Because apparently he just sat and he was like real skeptical about it and stuff. So,
well, 2.5 white men go on an adventure, Skinwalker Ranch.
We're going on an adventure.
Yep.
Try to beat this. He starts beating the Wolfman with a freaking board. It's another furry.
What if we?
That's like,
what if we just show up there and then the security guards just grab us and they're like, "Oh, don't worry, you're gonna like it here." And then we go down. You go into like the barn or something. There's like a secret basement. And we're stuck making like knockoff Gucci and knockoff Nike.
We're slave value sweatshop. I got to tell you guys what I just thought of, but I can't say any names on while we're live. So. we'll leave it for that.
Watch that be like what if like all the cryptids around the world are just furries?
Okay.
Loch Ness Monster was a night. Furries peaked in the freaking Bigfoot. I don't know, freaking Sasquatch, dressing as a freaking Sasquatch in the 1800s.
Dude, I think a lot of people just get really bored, especially back then. Like,
yeah, and I mean,
I'd make up a couple of tales. It's kind of like the same thing, like Greek mythology. That was a religion for a long time there, and then now it's not even considered that because we can explain everything that like the gods did, and because there's always those tales and stuff. Zeus, like whenever there was a bad storm, it was because he was pissed.
Yeah, he didn't get his mortal coochie intake for the day,
or he just eating people.
Well, those Kronos.
Oh well, yeah. I don't know.
What, Zeus is just up in there in the clouds? I tire of white women. Bring me foreigners. Like, that's how wars were actually fought back then.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, but there was a ton of documentaries. Like, there's like lost tapes. I guess Joe Rogan did like a TV special or something on it. Skinwalker Ranch, just like a film. Hunt for Skinwalkers, Portal to Hell, Project Blue Book, Ancient Aliens, The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, Just UFO, and then herd culling. That's
So let's be clear now. We gotta run. We gotta. If we do ever see a skinwalker, we can't get captured by that. So I'm gonna, be killed by my girlfriend.
what if we kind of just went up there, right? We could probably get on as long as we said we were like with National Geographic or something. Okay. That's the only way you're getting on. You got to have a TV show or something, apparently. They just let you on. And then you don't have to go down to the sweatshops. They just let you look around. I don't know. I think some of the stuff out there may have a little more merit than others. Like this one, at least, like there's a long history of it, like 50 years. And then, like, dude, the gnomes in the alley with Slender Man. That one's a little bit harder to get behind. Like a lot less sightings.
Because that could just be a group of tall kids just screwing around too. Like it could just be like a
pro BYU basketball team.
it was probably a lost missionary. It's probably what it was. Guys, I think I made a wrong turn.
All right.
So, well, just one little thing, and this isn't really regulated to Utah, but I heard now, and I feel like I've debunked this because I did the research. I did the grueling research. All right.
Yeah, some flat earthers. Look where we're at now. No, I'm kidding. But anyways, go on.
So, I heard that dogs poop based off of the magnetic field, or based off of a magnetic field.
Dude, what?
I sat out in my backyard a few times, and watched my dog poop to see what the magnetic field was. I don't understand that. I still don't understand how that works. I can't remember what video it was. You guys have to look it up or something.
Dude, you just got to take your dog to like some different paranormal type spots, where the magnetic field is all screwed up. And you take him over there, and he's got solid turds the whole way there. And then as soon as you get there, it's like he ate like a couple of tacos, like maybe a whole party pack from Taco Bell. It's just all over the place. That's going to confirm it. That has to, right?
Yeah. I was thinking about taking like two magnets and holding it up to his head and see him if he shits toward the magnet or something.
That just made him throw up. Huh.
That'd be something weird for your parents to walk out to.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Science.
Testing the magnetic field, Mom. Jeez.
Why can't I see you doing that?
Don't you get it? It's the same way compasses work. I just want to see where my dog's north is.
Compasses are out. Taking your dog on and using that instead.
Yeah, maybe they just crap towards north. Maybe that's what it is.
I think that's what it was. Is that they crap towards magnetic north, like they face magnetic north. But I think that was it. I don't quote me on that, but it was something like that. Or that, like I don't know. Somebody figure it out in the comments. Explain that to me in the comments. Have you done the research? Is the research there to support that?
Dude, I definitely haven't done the research. Who knows? You go down that rabbit hole, and maybe it's got something to do with the northern polar caps melting. Maybe it's because all the dogs. Maybe it's all animals.
Oh yeah.
They're pointing that little bean blaster up there, and it's melting it.
Oh, that's funny. That's funny stuff, guys. Okay, so
Oh.
Anyways, I didn't get as much cryptid stuff. I mostly looked into ghosts. I didn't do as much cryptid stuff as I hoped to. So I just recently found this one out. So I thought the only lake monster we really had was the supposed one in Bear Lake, which I believe was debunked because I think the church leader who originally saw it back in like the 1800s said it was a joke. But
Wow,
those Mormons. Anyways, he probably got drunk on the communion wine. Anyways,
dude, they don't have that, but they definitely had a 14-year-old boy see some golden plates, but they could have seen a sea monster. Right? Maybe it was a joke. Maybe everything's just blown out of proportion.
Joseph Smith. They weren't gold, actually. They were bronze. Okay. Anyways, so at first I thought we only just had was like just Bear Lake monster, which I do think had some more sightings, but I've actually been there. It's a very large lake. I was just there vibing with my family, so I didn't really pay attention. But apparently, there's a Utah lake monster, and this was in that same article I found that had the werewolf / furries and Provo and all that. I actually did find some more info on it, and I think like the first review, what was it? I think the first sighting was in 1868. This guy from Lehigh, they reported seeing this large creature, and it looked like a snake with the head of a greyhound swimming around. And then that's kind of like like a large snake. And other reports describe, and that's kind of like what a lot of people described it as. It's this giant serpentine creature, and some describes having like this wicked, like black eyes. And 1871, these two guys I can't remember what they were doing, but they said they saw like the creature was like a mile off from the shore. And they say that it was like rearing up, I guess, like several feet out of the water or something. And one of them estimated to be about 60 feet long. And the year before that, a fisherman found a skull in the lake, and the skull said that it didn't give much of a description other than eye sockets the size of an ox, which I don't know if you guys ever seen a cow or an ox skull. And it had a 5-inch long tusk projecting from the rear section of the jaw. So I can't really think of a real life animal alive that has a tusk coming out from the back that would be located in America. Like I know boars are like more towards the front. Yeah, I can't really think of unless it was fake. And
that's a crazy sounding animal.
Yeah.
Oh no. There have been a few different. I guess some would describe it as a fire breathing alligator. Apparently,
where?
I don't.
Dude, I'm sure they got one of them in Florida.
Easily.
Yeah.
I get. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what the alligator was from, but a lot of the general consensus is it's just a giant serpent. There have been varying degrees of the creature's head. Some have described it as alligator-like. Some have described it as dog-like. Some have described it as a giant serpent with dog ears. So I don't know if you're talking like floppy ears, pointed ears, whatever. And this is I didn't find like a whole bunch of reports on it, but this is the one from 1880, which I actually really thought was actually kind of interesting. And whether it's fake or not, I don't know. But in 1880, there were these two boys that were just out there like playing in the water, like they were out there like where they were swimming, and they looked like it was like a beaver, or it looked like they thought it was like a beaver or a dog was shooting towards them. So they were just like, oh, okay, whatever. They kept playing, and then they heard us like then they said they heard like this loud roar, and then the article said this kind of maybe like fake says like upon closer inspection, so the one of them like paddle up closer to it to get a look, and they noticed that the creature's head was like 2 to 3 feet long. So it was like a 2 to 3 feet long head with a snout that's about 18 inches wide is what they were guessing. And they said that when the animal swam towards them, it would occasionally raise itself out of the water, showing 4 legs. So that might imply it has, so like that kind of tells me like, does it have just 4 legs, or does it have like multiple legs underneath each leg, where it's like as long as a man's arm? and they said that they swam for the shore, and they said it kept making like savage gestures, whatever. I'm guessing that means like it tried shaking. It was like growling at them and all that crap. I guess I don't know. And they made it to shore, and apparently, I guess the creature kind of just stopped chasing them off. Like I guess like once they made it to shore, the creature gave up its pursuit. And then there were some reports. So one article I found about this said this was instead of made it out to where there was 2 sea creatures in Utah Lake, or some described it as, oh, it's not a serpent, it's this. But anyway, so another version, or no, wait, hold on. So there have been reports of monster, like small merfolk, that the locals kind of call them water babies. And that's just like these little merfolk, and then that's what some people believe was to blame for a lot of the drownings and stuff there. And apparently, if you walk around at night, you can hear them like crying, which is why they got the term water babies. They're supposed to be really small. I did see one article that kind of made it seem like, oh, it's not a giant serpent, it's just these merfolk. But I found a couple more articles that said like they're both just kind of, it's like 2 separate creatures living in that lake.
So it's either the sea monster or the sea men, or it's both. Or is it just the is it just the monsters sea men?
God, dude.
No, but I did talk to a guy about, and I think he said there's like wind. He said that where Utah Lake's set in the place, there was like these wind currents, and that's what's caused like boats and stuff to flip over. So that could be that. But at the same time, like I don't. It's the article didn't really give me an exact number, but it implied that there were multiple sightings of this monster. So there could have been a giant serpent chilling out there in Utah Lake. It could have just been like a giant fish. I don't know. I do know that I have seen a lot of reports of large sea serpents, like not just like in lakes, but like sea serpents, like in like the massive ones you hear about like in the ocean. Have all had like similar appearances. I think there's actually a serpent somewhere off the coast of California or Alaska. I can't remember. I got a book of monsters somewhere that told me about this, but it's like,
well, think about like the most known one, the Loch Ness monster.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I mean, Utah Lake has a pretty interesting history. I mean, and I don't remember the dates, but they had a steel mill there that would pump all of its garbage into the lake.
Right.
So for a long time, that lake was like almost completely toxic to human beings. And then they did like a little cleanup effort or whatever and cleaned it, and obviously the steel mill is gone. But yeah, it's a weird lake to me. And I've seen it, like I've driven by it, but I've never actually been in the lake or up close to the lake. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I found so it was called Geneva Steel.
Oh yeah, yep.
Yeah. So it got built during World War II.
Oh yeah.
So it was probably pumping out. It was a lot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then most of these sightings were before the 1900s though. So that could have just been people BSing, or there really was something out there. Who knows?
That died, like that maybe died or something before that time. Or
another victim of World War II. They polluted it to death.
Yep. Victim of
or who's to say? Yeah, I don't know. I feel like with today's technology, we probably would have found this by now.
I mean, yeah. Well, if it died, some odd years ago, before World War II or during World War II or whatever, It's probably skeleton, well, probably sank to the floor of the lake and, covered in mud or something. I have no idea.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what's weird. Like the bottom of lakes really don't get examined as much as
Yeah.
like look at the deepest parts of the ocean and stuff. Like people are always wanted to make like missions or trips down there, like for documentaries or research and everything, but not so much at the bottom of lakes. Like look at I think it was Lake Mead, because when it started drying up, there was like bodies and stuff down there. So no one ever really like looked at it, I guess. You know what I mean? So it makes me
Yeah.
wonder how often they actually go into these
Well,
lakes and stuff.
it just, brings it around to what I said. Do we really know everything about our home? Like, we hear all of this folklore. Is it true? Is it not? There's a ton of mysteries that even here in little Utah, this little, rectangle, weird shape on the map in the middle of the United States, in the middle of the world. And we drive through it every day. We live our daily lives in this state, and millions of other people do too. And we don't know, like, the mysteries that our canyons, our lakes, or, even our own freaking,
Towns, yeah.
our own communities hold,
Yeah,
So,
it's certainly crazy. Yeah, I went into this not knowing quite as much, but I feel like I'm coming out of this have learned a little bit more. Some of it definitely more just kind of like on the comedic side. There, you like, no, no, but it's just kind of interesting the stories and kind of the lore of the stories that gets passed around from communities and down through the years.
yeah.
It's pretty interesting.
I mean, that I would implore people to look into your local history to learn about it, because you could find something interesting out of it. You could find, you know, whether it be treasure, whether it be a gold mine that was around here in the 1800s, whether it's a sea monster, whether it's a freaking
Fossilized turd, baby. You just got to get out there.
fossilized dog turd that points north.
Yeah, it's pointing north. That's for sure.
Yep. Like,
if it's pointing to the west, you got to leave that place. There's something else there.
Yep. Not a good place to be.